about Israel? Couldn't Israel be a wild card? Israel, we know, has been doing some flights in and around Syria. What about Turkey shooting down a Russian drone? Could we see something spark off a larger conflict?
We could, but so far we don't see any of that. The Russians have denied that the drone was theirs, and that leaves a very interesting question. Did the Turks shoot down a U.S. drone, or could have been perhaps an Iranian drone? But the Russians may not be telling the truth. They may not want the embarrassment. I don't think anybody wants to tackle Russian jets. For example, the Russian jets confronted this week two Israeli fighters that were going through Lebanon and basically said, halt, turn around, and they did. So even the Israelis, as good as their fighter pilots are, probably the best in the world, are reluctant to tangle with the Russians. As I say, I don't think we're...
Well, I'm sure that's because they've been given orders not to.
That's right. I don't see a direct confrontation with NATO versus Russia because NATO and the United States don't want to provoke a war with Russia. This isn't the time for World War III. Russia and China aren't ready yet. But still, they've got to overcome this Syrian situation somehow. And they may have to wait till Russia runs its course, takes back a majority of Syria for Assad. And if there are sufficient Iranian troops in there, the Saudis or the Israelis could use that as an excuse to intervene.
Saudi Arabia has been making a lot of threats against Assad and against Russia, but at the same time meeting with the Russian envoys. But the United States has been refusing to meet with the Russian foreign minister. That's even unprecedented during the Cuban Missile Crisis, to refuse to meet with the Russian foreign minister.
Well, there's a very good reason for that, Alex, and that is that the United States simply, has to be careful. Russia knows that the U.S. created ISIS. And so when the Russians going to press the U.S. about the fact that they're not sharing any target information with them, they don't want Russian information, they don't want to tell them what targets not to hit. I mean, that's a tacit admission that we don't want Russia to engage with us directly over ISIS because it will expose the fact that we don't want ISIS taken down. Now, on the other hand, Russia has been working fairly smoothly with both Israel and Saudi Arabia. And how should I put that? Israel is completely in the globalist pocket.
Stay there. Explain that when we come back. Joel Scalzo, World Affairs Briefs, our guest. Stay with us.